to. Okay. Good morning, everybody. To be honest, I've just landed uh, from abroad, so I don't have a speech.
Shalom, shalom.
And how welcome our guest.
כן. ככה, כן, עברו עונות.
רגע, אבי, רגע. אבי, תעשה unmute ותמשיך לדבר.
Okay, so welcome to our guest from ProQuest, Clarivet, and for joining us this meeting. As we do from time to time, every month or two, we try to let's say deliver the news that we have from ProQuest, and this is what we are going to do as long as we are forced to do it this way. I'll say some words in Hebrew. בוקר טוב. אני לא הספקתי להכין נאום מסודר, אז אני גם אומר תודה רבה על זה שאתם מצטרפים. יש לנו עכשיו איזו מדיניות כבר כמה שנים מהקורונה, שאנחנו מדי פעם מעדכנים בעיקר בנושאים שהם בוערים, כמו AI וכן הלאה. אבל על זה אנחנו מוסיפים גם מה חדש אצלנו. אנחנו עושים את זה גם בתחומים אחרים, אבל אנחנו כרגע מתרכזים בתכנים של ProQuest, ואני לא אבזבז זמן, we'll move to Francesca, and she will update us on the AI and all the problems that everybody is asking. We say always that next time we'll talk about hummus AI, but let's talk about what we can offer you as being our subscribers.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Avi, for this introduction. So, Boker Tov, everyone. And I would like to share my screen. I will share a few slides with you, and then we go live. So you can see exactly, you can see the presentation, right?
Yes.
Perfect. First of all, I would like to start with an ethical statement that we have at ProQuest on the usage of artificial intelligence. We are going to see how Clarivate is harnessing AI capabilities to review, analyze, interrogate documents, to craft more precise searches. But before that, I think that it is important that I tell you about our commitment. As an organization, our core principles are the transparency in the process of providing information, and in the fact that this information is controlled, is vetted, is coming from a trusted source. That's why we have an internal AI Advisory Council, that is the Clarivate AI Advisory Council, and we are launching right now beta programs. Everything you will see today is changing. So the things that I'm showing you today are going to evolve. I mean, this technology is about evolving very quickly. We are still in a beta version. Today we'll go on the ProQuest platform and we'll see this beta version that is available for some products. Many of you already have access to it. So this will be the occasion actually to look at these functionalities in a more detailed way. And I want just to make clear a few principles. So we do not use publisher content to train public learning machines. So this is very important. We are always clear about the sources that we are using, and we are transparent and always cooperating with the publishers. And unlike general AI tools like ChatGPT, we provide users just with insights and other features that are based on academic curated content. So this is important. And humans are always in the loop. So because we evaluate, we test, we validate the results carefully, and you are part of this process. So it's not something that is coming from above. You can actually join the process and give your contribution. But what is it about? So the ProQuest Research Assistant is now available in beta for all the ProQuest One suite of products. Okay, so today we'll have examples on ProQuest One Business, ProQuest One Psychology, ProQuest One Literature, and ProQuest One Education. Even the upcoming ProQuest One Sustainability will support the Research Assistant. There are plans to expand the Research Assistant to the whole suite of ProQuest products. So it will be available platform-wide. Nowadays, it is available on these products only. So there are 3 layers of functionalities that are supported by the ProQuest Research Assistant. So one is on the search, where the users, and especially the students, are prompted to structure their search with Boolean queries. Then there are tools to actually review and analyze the content at a document level, and that actually the further step is to bring the students to formulate research questions and to find topics and guidance for the next step in their search. As I said, there are two levels where the research assistant, so the AI, applies on the ProQuest platform. The first one, if you start on a document, and the second one, if you start with a search, okay? And we'll see how this is impacting, actually. So starting on a document, we know that most users start the session on a document because they arrive directly from the discovery tool. And there are 3 actually points in which we apply the artificial intelligence. So the first one is giving key takeaway. So the user actually understand the relevance of a document. I mean, this is something different from the abstract of an article, okay? This is really an intelligent resume of what of the content of the article. Then there is, and I think that this is one of the most amazing features, you have the definition of all the key concepts. So this is like having an encyclopedia embedded in the platform. So there is no need to go outside to check information somewhere else. So we make the experience stickier to the document. And then there are, as I said, there are research topics that are based on the document that the student is searching. And these suggestions are based on the document itself. Okay, so it's very granular, and it means that it's tailor made for the search, and it's based on the needs of the user, right? Then we have the second layer of application of AI on the ProQuest platform, and this is we are at the search level. Okay, so at the search level, we know that most students use the ProQuest platform as a Google search bar. Okay, and we will provide actually some synonyms. We know that the basic of the effective Boolean search is to add synonyms, okay? And they will have the opportunity to structure in this way the synonyms within the search, okay, to get more relevant results. It's like, let's interpret it. If I should describe it, I would describe it as a thesaurus, as an integrated thesaurus, okay, but an intelligent one. And now that I've speaking about the general features, I think that the most interesting thing is to see the research assistant in action, actually. So I'm going to stop sharing the PowerPoint and I will share my screen. So if you have questions, please drop it in the chat and we can take it. Okay, where are you? Okay, I'm just sharing my screen. You should see my my ProQuest One business, right? So as I told you, the research assistant is now available on the ProQuest One products. Okay, okay. So let's search documents on like a student would do. Okay, we're not going into complex searches this morning because what I want to show you is really I mean, how it can help on a daily basis students. Okay, so I will actually just drop some keywords on the search bar, so I can make high tech and sector Israel and see what's given to me. So as you can see, it can is suggesting me. So the search is suggesting Israeli, for instance, and it's stakeholder, gifted education, digital learning. Okay, because okay, let's see if we have we can put some academic discipline. Okay, so all this, so it's interpreting my search, and it say, do you want to know about the high-tech sector in Israel as an academic discipline? So in this way, as you can see, I am actually using the suggested terms. I'm adding the suggested terms with an and. Every time I add a suggested term with an and, is narrowing down the results. So at the beginning, I started with more than 2,000 entries, and now I have narrowed down my results to 90. I mean, this is extremely useful because it allows the students to actually work with a manageable sets of results, and actually to narrow down the results in a more structured way. Okay, and at the same time, because we're all afraid that the AI will replace humans. In this case, actually, the AI is a tool to teach students how to structure a Boolean search. I didn't say this during the presentation, but the natural language search is still not an option on the ProQuest platform. So in this beta version, you have only this type of assistance when it comes at the search level. Okay, so you can't formulate. You can't prompt in the ProQuest platform with natural language search. Okay, it will come. It's in the pipe, but it's not there yet. And I think that this is a great in between. Okay, so let's narrow down by scholarly journal, for instance, and let's look at this one. And it's about higher education in Israel, and the impact of high tech sector. So this is what I was telling you. I was telling you so that this is very important. You have your feedback is valued. So you see, you have here, as I said, the resume of this article. You can copy it. So if you are building your bibliography and you need to actually store in a place all the information about the literature you're examining, you actually have the possibility to copy it, and you have the possibility to give your feedback. So on the reliability, on the relevance of the content of this resume. So and this feedback goes directly to that AI advisory board that I mentioned at the beginning. So the ProQuest teams are behind it to improve the query day by day. So here have this is the resume, the key takeaway, that as you can see, it's different from the abstract of the article. And then, okay, here you have some related topic pages. Okay, you might say, but we already have suggestions in the ProQuest platform. What's the difference between these these were suggestions and the ones that we already have, for instance, in ProQuest Central? Okay, the difference is that the suggested searches that you have on the ProQuest Central are based on the search that you are doing. Okay, these ones are based on the details, on the indexation details of the document you're examining. These ones are based on the search that you're doing and on the whole document. Okay, so there is another level of analysis of the document. So the suggested sources or the related topic pages, because we are in a ProQuest 1 environment, so you have the topic pages structures, will be much more relevant, because the level of connection, so the level of information digging is made on the whole document, okay, and on your search. So there is this combination. Okay, so you have the suggested sources, and you have actually here the indexing terms. So I started with I narrowed down with high tech and Israel, and then I narrowed down by education in high tech. So here as you can see, there are all the indexing terms. And the good thing is that I can further refine my search of literature, searching the selecting terms. So I can actually say, okay, I want more documents on Israel, on education policy, and on education system and labor market. Okay, and then I will search using just these terms, and I will narrow down my search in that direction. So this is bringing to you know that the serendipity has always been one of the principles behind the ProQuest platform. We're just bringing it to the next step. Okay, so there is not, okay, this research assistant is working at the place of the students. No, it's really helping the students to do their job better. Okay, to help them uh, to accentuate their critical thinking. Okay, and this other feature is about the research topics that are based just on the documents, as I said. And here again, you can copy, and this is really interesting when you are starting your search. So you have the possibility to actually expand your search in direction you didn't think about. Okay, and once again, you can actually give the feedback to our developers. And this is like having a buddy, a study buddy. So you have someone who's brainstorming with you. Okay, oh, we thought about higher education and the sector of higher education. What about the social background in the choice of your curriculum? This could be actually something that is influencing the choice of the students. So it brings the students to actually make connection. And then, and this is amazing, is the important concept. So there is the definition. We know that one of the main challenges of the students, and one thing that really makes the students leave the platform, leave the academic environment, is to look for definitions. So what do? They go on Wikipedia. With this tool, no Wikipedia, no more Wikipedia, because all the important concepts that are actually tackled in this paper are actually defined here. And I mean, as you can see, you have definitions on concepts like social inequality, but as well about people. Okay, so it's providing a short bio of the authors, but even of the people that are mentioned on the article. So I'm really enthusiastic about it because I think it's amazing. So we looked at and I don't want to steal too much time to the other database, but I mean, if I go on ProQuest, ProQuest One literature, it will work the same, but it will do it in a different fashion. For instance, I will mention I look for information about one of my favorite authors, that is Philip Roth. Okay. So the structure, you see the complexity of the structure, and at the same time how easy it is. I mean, it's complex behind, but it has a very straightforward interface. So you can search in as an author, but you can as well, you see, I mean, the reference word, the dissertation, this is very classic, okay? But then I can say, okay, I want to see what's the link and the relation between Philip Roth, that is sometimes a controversial author, and Jewish literature. Okay, and here I have actually dissertations. I have I have articles, and for instance, I can decide to narrow down then the sources. Okay, so and it's doing exactly, I mean, what I've done for the ProQuest One business. Let's take this study on American pastoral that I think is one of the most beautiful novels that haven't been written. And it's about the controversial, I mean, Jewish identity for a Jewish American. So here, okay, the complexities of American Jewish identity. And here you have the related topic pages about acculturation. So how to live between two cultures. And you have the suggested sources, as you could see on the other database. And once again, you can brainstorm on this article about the American Jewishness in Philip Roth fiction. So I mean, as you can see, it's quite impressive. So I don't know if you have some questions here, or I can go on with showing you ProQuest One psychology. So, and I can tell you that the functionalities of the research assistant are improving more and more. So we've been working on it the whole summer. We were testing it on the platform. I was personally testing the history databases, because I said it's available for the ProQuest One, but it's available as well for ProQuest Black Studies and Gender Studies. And so we were, I mean, according to our areas of expertise, we were testing it. And I can tell you that the relevance and of the insights provided is improving day by day. So is there any question in the chat, or I can go on and show the ProQuest One psychology?
Jessica, there is one question from
Yes.
saying that she doesn't see references. Michal, is that, do you want to add to that?
It doesn't see references in I don't understand really the question. I mean, she doesn't see references in the takeaways or in the concepts that are provided.
Michal, do you want to explain your question?
Okay, let's go on.
Okay, but the reference, I don't know. I mean, if you mean what you mean by references, but actually, I mean, in an article, the references are. I mean, this is it's the bibliography of the article is always at the end. In some cases, we isolate the references as well, so you have an extrapolated bibliography that is here and that you can actually consult beside the document. So there are different level of references. Then and if you mean that the references of the AI, I mean, this is AI generated content, so it doesn't have references, not being generated by a person. So it can't have references because a person is doing a bibliography, not a machine. I mean, a machine is doing bibliography as well, but as I told you at the beginning, this is not the purpose of the research assistant. Okay, if we move from literature to psychology, I want to show you.
Francesca, just a minute.
Yes.
Can you say some words about the differences between the ProQuest One products and the let's say the traditional products like ProQuest Central? Because at the moment it's limited only to the ProQuest One series.
Yes, it's limited to the ProQuest One series, and
For those who have forgotten the differences.
Sorry?
For those who have forgotten the differences between the ProQuest One psychology and the psychology products.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the purpose today of the webinar to talk about the ProQuest One suite of products,
No,
but I mean, there are two different. So the research assistant is only on the ProQuest One product, and the ProQuest One products. If you compare the ProQuest One psychology and the psychology database that is in ProQuest Central, in the ProQuest One psychology, you will have all the secondary literature. So you will have the journals that you find in the psychology database. So the psychology database actually is included, and you will have all the videos that are coming from behavioral and mental health online from Alexander Street. So there is an extensive collection of videos that are most of them are DSM-5 and ICD-10 compliant. Then you will have a whole stack of dissertations. Okay. That, I mean, there is just a small amount of dissertation in ProQuest Central. You will have ebooks. You will have ebooks coming from eBook Central that are not part of ProQuest Central, and depending on the subject, for instance, in ProQuest on psychology, you have a lot of primary sources and documents like here on experiments, so historical psychological experiments. In ProQuest One Business, you will have let's go back. You will have, I know it's going back to everything, but I mean, in ProQuest One Business, you will have a lot of great literature and reports like the JP Morgan reports that are not part of the business collection. So, I mean, the ProQuest One are conceived as a place where you go and find everything you need for your assignments. And now that they are AI powered with the research assistant, this is even more true because it offers a whole environment where to perform your research. And then even in the features that I told you, where there is suggested sources, where there is suggested topic searches. I mean, this is brought to another level as I show you, because this is the suggestions are made on your own search and on the whole document, instead of the details, the indexation details of the document that it was happen in the traditional ProQuest Central environment. I hope I answered your question, Avi.
You just to clarify, it's okay. Now we can go on.
Okay.
Just to tell you that we have 5 minutes, so
absolutely. I mean, this is the last bit. I think that it was very important to actually define this concept, and I want to show you just that. So an example with trauma recovery, and where I will put this in ProQuest on psychology. And okay, it will normally provide me some searches, some additional searches where it's not working. For some reason, it is blocked. Because I wanted to show you how to add terms with or instead of and, so to expand the search. Okay, let's take it from here. Sorry, I want to reinitialize it. This is how to go from one behind the curtains, from one database to another. Okay, let's see if now it's working. Okay, now I think it's working. I have this impression. Okay, yes, it's working. So as you can see, I can add. I can
What are you doing?
Like complex.
Why?
And I can add it with and, or I can add it with or. Okay. If I add it with or, I will have much more results. Okay. And I show you the ProQuest research assistant with a scholarly literature, but actually it works with newspapers as well. Okay, so here we have an article about how the brain's changes after trauma, and it's taking the example of October the 7th. And as you can see, the research assistant is actually working on the press as well. And this is very important because in this way, you can use it actually to help your students to analyze content and to compare in a shorter, and more accessible type of literature. And you can see what's the difference between the key takeaway of the research assistant and what is the key takeaways that you take from the article. So it's really a great tool actually to train your critical thinking. And that's what I wanted to show you. I think that we're going out of time, and I think that you understood how it works on the different ProQuest One products. And if there is no question, I would like to give the word to my colleagues. Toda.
I think there was a question. Chaya, you wanted to ask something?
Yes.
You were asking?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Any questions before we move to Greg?
And of course, if you wish to test the ProQuest One products, Nina and Zio team will be very happy to provide you a test.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Francesca.
Thank you, Toda.
Thank you. And we move. Are you in Paris, Francesca?
Yes, it's cold. You can see it.
And Greg, Spain.
I'm in Spain, in Malaga, yes, Nina.
Yes,
Yeah,
Malaga.
it's cold here unusually as well.
Such unattractive places, Malaga and Paris.
Yeah, it's a tough life.
Okay. Yes. So Greg is our books, expert, and please go ahead. Thank you. Give us an update.
Great. So hi everyone. Just a couple of things before I share my screen. If you could make sure that your microphone is muted during the presentation, you're welcome to come off mute and ask any questions. but that would be helpful. And I have a relatively short update for you today, but it is on the theme of AI in our books products. So give me 1 sec to share my screen. Get it into the right mode. All right. Can everybody see?
Yes.
Excellent. Good stuff. So keeping on the theme of artificial intelligence in our resources, we're really pleased to announce that the AI research assistant for eBook Central will be available in the coming months, which is really great news. So really very similar to what is on the ProQuest platform and what Francesca just showed. The eBook Central AI is really designed to really enhance student learning and simplifying and enriching the research process on the eBook Central platform. And the real goal behind it is to help with student confidence and efficiency, and really to support students at all levels of learning and to help navigate the research process. It's really going to help encourage deeper engagement with resources and better utilization of the library's resources, which is great. So the eBook Central Research Assistant, some of the benefits that we have for the students and library community. So for students and users, the generated insights are going to help support research, and they will help students complete assignments more efficiently. They're going to help them find relevant content more easily. And it's really going to help them answer a pretty basic question that I'm sure many users of eBook Central ask, and that is, how do I know that this is the right book for me? But at the same time, it's going to help with information literacy. We're providing contextual explanations. Students can get a better understanding of sometimes complex topics, and it will just help with comprehension and learning the material, right? Remembering what they've learned. And from the library side, what we're looking at here with AI and the research assistant on eBook Central, what will likely happen, it will encourage longer reading times. It will encourage more downloads and copy print, really helping students get the most of the ebook collection that the library has invested in. So eBook Central, the research assistant, right? Couple of important things to note. This research assistant is only available on the eBook Central platform, right? It will only show what the library has subscribed to or purchased. This is not available in Lib Central or in Rialto, where you can go and browse books that you want to purchase, right? It's an important distinction to keep in mind. Now, the insights are going to be provided on a chapter level, not book level. We're not going to provide summaries of books so people can copy and paste a book review and pretend like they've done the work. So it will provide a summary at the chapter level. It's going to help as well present key concepts as well, and some of the curated features. So as Francesca mentioned, in the ethical statement, we don't use the publisher content to train AI models, but the AI that we use in our platform really uses peer-reviewed and high-quality content for to generate the answers there. Okay, and just a little few kind of points on the research assistant. So the beta is going to be starting in the third quarter of 2024. We're already in October. I think the launch is a couple of weeks away. It's going to be available in eBook Central at no additional cost, which is fantastic. It will automatically be enabled for all eBook Central customers. You will be able to opt out if you would not like this for whatever reason for your users. Again, the insights will be generated at the chapter level. It will not provide the whole book summaries. And very important to remember that this is only available for books that the library either subscribes to or has purchased or owns. in their collection. It won't be available for titles on DDA, our demand-driven acquisition or patron-driven acquisition, however you want to call it. And it will not trigger library loans or purchases should you have a DDA or PDA model in place. We have a very large publisher participation, and we offer them the opt-out supported at publisher, author, and title level. So if for whatever reason an author would not like this available for his content, we are able to disable that just for the books that that author has written, rather than all the books from a particular publisher, which is really great. And just to really talk a little bit about the framework that we have in AI. So AI, has a lot of benefits, but it also comes with inherent risks. And at Clarivate, we really have a responsibility to harness this powerful technology in a responsible way. The opportunities that it can present to us is really content discovery and removing the barriers that typically we find in academia in making content accessible. You see, I think the days of using long and complex Boolean searches are really behind us now with so many of these AI tools. And that's really helpful because it makes the content so much more accessible. It's going to allow users to really gain valuable insights from the content as well. And it's going to offer a more kind of personalized learning experience. Of course, there are some very valid concerns as well. Bias and hallucinations, not to get into the whole discussion about AI, but I'm sure we've all seen examples where if you kind of give it a word sum, John has 3 apples, Mike has 5 apples, how many apples? And you kind of change the wording slightly. Sometimes it gets stuck. So biases and hallucinations can crop up in there. It can also, a concern is, did the student actually write the piece, or are they just using ChatGPT or another tool to generate what they've, to kind of show that they've learned something. And again, we have, paper mills, publishers that will publish anything as long as you pay them, plagiarism as well. And there's a concern with the environmental impact because of just the sheer amount of power, electricity that artificial intelligence really needs. So the framework that Clarivate has put in place is we want to offer transparency. So clear information about the content sources that we use and proper attribution and easy access to cited works. That is incredibly important in the academic world, which we work in. We want to do our best from the ethical perspective to reduce kind of the bad information and make sure that we are clearly within the rights that the publisher provides to use AI with this content. And one of the points that Francesca mentioned earlier is it's always with the human in the loop there. So the human really guides the work that the AI tools is doing. And of course, there's ever evolving and rapidly evolving global and regional restrictions that we will, of course, adhere to. So that is a little about the eBook Central Research Assistant. As soon as it is live, all customers will receive an email notification informing you about this. Very quickly, with a couple of minutes that I have left, I would just want to talk about some of the new content that we've added in eBook Central. So, eBook Central has been around for many, many years, and it's not new for many of you on the call. But I think it's really worthwhile highlighting the work that we continue to do to make this the platform for academic library, the platform of choice for academic libraries. You can see here in the third quarter, July to September, we added over nearly 80,000 ebooks to eBook Central, right? These are available for perpetual purchase in a variety of different access models. We have as well plenty in a number of different subject areas from a number of key, well-known and some new publishers that are making their content available on eBook Central for the first time. Really, really want to highlight the fantastic work our editorial team have been doing over the last several years to really make the content on eBook Central much more appealing internationally. We've had a very strong focus in signing up content in different languages, Spanish, French, German being the priorities. But again, in the third quarter, we added content in more than 30 languages to eBook Central. And This slide is a little bit out of date. Some of the numbers are a bit out of date, but I think it's really worthwhile just to understand the scope and the selection available on eBook Central. So in total, we're very close to approaching 2.5 million ebooks on one platform, which is fantastic. Really a lot of selection and a lot of choice. A good 99% of these 2.5 million books are available in a one-user license, and then at publisher discretion, they may choose to opt into the other licenses available, like three-user, unlimited, and nonlinear. Almost, I think it's 95% of the books available on eBook Central are eligible to be included in demand-driven acquisition. I've said many times, and I'll continue to say, I think DDA is a perfect model for the environment that we live in today, where everyone is being asked to do less, to do more with less resources while trying to serve a growing user community with diverse interests. I think DDA is one of the very few models that fits perfectly in the environment today. And these two access models are specifically for DDA, so I don't want to talk about them now. But just to go back to some of the new content highlights that we've added in 2024, these are some very important French publishers, editors, as well as L'Harmattan. We've added over 13,000 titles from both of these publishers as well. But you can see here from OUP, over 700 titles, from TNF, over 1,400 titles, Springer, 1,200, etc. And the new non-English content editions in our 3 priority languages, French, German, and Spanish, you can see we continue to add really significant amounts of content to really to broaden the international appeal for eBook Central. And again, we can give just a full count of the number of titles in different languages available on the platform. And this will continue to grow and continue to increase in the coming months. But just some highlights, German, we're pushing 300,000. Spanish, we're on above 120,000. And those of you who have been in your roles a long time, maybe would remember back 5, 6, 7 years ago, these numbers were nothing like this. I think at one point we may have had less than 2,000 Spanish books available on eBook Central. So we've really done phenomenal work as well to make content in a lot more languages available on eBook Central. And I think that's it for today from my side. So thanks, and happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Greg?
All right. Well, toda raba, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Greg. And we move now to Hugh from Malaga. Hi, Hugh. To Oxford.
Hi, everyone.
To Oxford. Hugh has much experience working mainly in the UK. So he's responsible for the UK, Ireland including, and now also Israel. And he works with the top universities and in general with universities in the UK. And now we're very happy that he's working with Israeli universities as well. And Hugh will cover collections, primary collections, and give us some updates. Thank you very much, Hugh.
Okay, let me just share my screen. Right, so I hope you can all see my screen. So
Yes.
look through some, I think, absolutely brilliant collections that are coming out or just come out recently, available to you all to have a look at. So the first one is Popular Culture Studies in Video. This came out in the summer. Oh, not in presentation mode, sorry.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
So, sorry, where would that be? Sorry. I thought that was on the slideshow.
It is at you're right there, one right to the right. Yes. That's
right.
it. Great.
Is that working?
Yes, thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Greg.
It will,
and Nina. Yeah, I'm not so used to Zoom as I am to Teams. A lot of meetings on Teams, less on Zoom. Popular culture studies in video. So this is a collection that came out in the summer. It's a video-only collection, 150 video titles. This won't be in academic video online, so it's only available as standalone. It covers the following areas. It covers film and TV, which are such important subjects. It covers comics, as in comic magazines, and also video games. So looking at the video games impact on modern culture. And very importantly, the evolution of fashion history. So you can see at the bottom there, Coco Chanel, and articles on or videos on Coco Chanel. This looks how the popular culture, especially in the West, has been affected by all these areas in the 20th century and 21st century. Look, for example, at the evolution of French cinema, and also the way Hollywood has such a powerful impact on the world. Looks at TV and how that's changed people's lives over the 20th century. And it combines these all together, including music as well, as in popular music, to look at a really good sort of cultural view of the world in the 20th and 21st century. Next one is the Ethnicity and Culture Magazine Archive, which came out in September. This is really good from an EDI or DEI point of view. Most of the magazines included are North American magazines. However, there will be 3 from the UK, Flamingo and The Pulse, and also one other. They're coming next year. There will be one from Israel. So it would be Voices Israel 1978 to 2020, which is poetry in English from Israel. So that's already included. Like most of the collections, it launches about 30% complete and then is completed over around 12-month period.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Yep.
Move the
You're
slide.
still seeing the slide on the video, so I don't know if it's or everybody is seeing that slide.
Hugh,
Yes.
maybe stop sharing, go into
Okay.
presentation mode, and then share again and select the presentation mode option that shows.
So stop. Sorry, say again. I've stopped sharing.
Stop sharing. Go into presentation mode on PowerPoint.
On the PowerPoint.
And then share again on Zoom, and you should see a tab. It will show you which tabs you want to share. And choose the full screen one. Yeah.
So okay, that's taking me out of that. So whenever I do the share.
It's okay. Just go back. It's fine. Just back. It's okay.
Okay.
Share like before. It's okay.
Okay, I'll do that. Go. It seems to have disappeared now. 1 second. Let me just. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will stop that, and I will then get it back up. Got that back up, and I should be able to go to Zoom. Sorry, go to Zoom. Zoom's not seem to be working at the moment.
Just do share. Just click on share screen at the bottom. You see the green button? Share screen?
Yeah, at the moment I'm not getting it back onto the Zoom. The Zoom seemed to have frozen.
You know what? Send me the file. I'll share. Just send it to me, and you can continue talking. Just send it to me.
1 second. Teams.
I'll share it. Sorry about that.
Right, let's put that there.
Okay, good.
I'm not quite sure. I mean, can you see me and hear me? Because at the moment,
Yes, we
yeah,
can see you and hear you, and I'm going to share. I received the file,
yeah,
and I will share it. So share.
right. I got back onto Zoom.
Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, go for
Okay.
it. On ethnicity.
Okay. So, right. So, yeah, move on to the next slide, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So this is Music Online Classical Scores Volume 6, the Boozy and Hawkes collection. So we've already had 5 classical scores collections, which are proving really popular, especially after COVID and people couldn't access the print scores. So digital scores became really popular. The Boozy and Hawkes usage in the first 5 collections was really high. It was one of the top 5 used publishers. So we've decided to do a volume 6 with just Boozy and Hawkes titles. It will cover the period from Baroque, so roughly around 1700, to contemporary period composers as well. Next slide, please, Nina. Thank you. So History Vault, this is really exciting news, actually. So History Vault has migrated, or is migrating, from the old History Vault platform to the new ProQuest platform, to its new place on the ProQuest platform. This happened in June, and it is going to be dual access until the 8th of January. What's really exciting about this, although it's going to keep the one thing people loved about the old platform was the archival look, so students could see what it's like looking into an archive. It's actually also going to be much better on the ProQuest platform because it will be cross-searchable with all your current ProQuest content on the ProQuest platform. But at the same time, it's also going to have unique URLs for each module, each History Vault module, which previously it didn't. So previously you had to go in through the front of History Vault, and it was all a bit clunky. But now you can actually look at it, each individual History Vault module on its own. Next slide, please.
You can ask your question when you say it's migrating to the ProQuest platform.
Yeah.
You mean ProQuest Central? What do you mean?
No. It's no. So it's on the ProQuest platform itself as a product, not ProQuest Central. It's on ProQuest platform. So originally it was on the History Vault platform. If that makes sense. So you'll be able to find your History Vault modules if you have them under History Vault, and then you can actually click a plus button, and you will then be able to see which ones you have underneath that. So yeah, so it's going to be so much better. Next slide, please, Nina.
Yes.
So this is exciting. The brand new one, we're on number 70 History Vault collections. A lot of them are US sort of focused, but this one is looking at planning for post-World War II world. These are the records of Harley A. Notter, cover the period 1939 to 1945, looking at how to rebuild Europe after the Second World War, looking at the occupation and rebuilding Germany and Japan, but also crucially looking at the Jewish situation in Europe and Palestine as well. So that is one that's just coming out right about now. Next slide, please, Nina.
No, mine got stuck. 1 second. For some reason, yes. Up.
Oh no, you went past one. Sorry.
Here.
Yeah. So just want a quick mention of this one, which is already out. I know some of you have this already. Others may not. The creation of Israel History Vault module, which is British Foreign Office correspondence on Palestine and Transjordan, covering 1940 to 1948. Really important stuff, looking at how Israel was formed, and relationship between the communities at the time, as well as in the Middle East region as a whole. Next slide, please, Nina. So yes, early European books, we've reached collection 25, History Chronicles. I mean, this is really interesting from a history point of view. This actually has just come out either yesterday or the day before, and it covers the period, the classical times to 1700. And it's very much focused on Northern Europe. So looking at the Holy Roman Empire, Scandinavia, the Netherlands and Germany. And the material is sourced from our Northern libraries, as we call them. So the Dutch, Danish, and Wellcome libraries in London, and also the library in Florence as well. Next slide, please, Nina. So we've got a very unusual one here, circus studies. This is about the history of circuses. the artistry, and also the performance and the ethical treatment of animals and performers, and also looking at disability in circus studies as well. It's going to be a mixture of text and video, so 100,000 pages of text, 100 hours of video. So it'll be on the Alexander Street platform, but it's also got important stuff on the looking at race and gender in circus too. Next slide, please, Nina. Right, this one, everyone's really excited about it. I know customers in the UK, but elsewhere would really love this one. This is BBC News Bulletin Scripts Archive, Collection 1. So this is going to be radio scripts from what was originally the BBC Home Service and the BBC Light Service. And they're going to be digitized. So collection 1 will cover the period 1937 to 1955. It's coming out next month. Collection 2 will be next 20 years, and collection 3 will be coming out next year. Collection 3 will be coming out in 2026. So obviously collection 1 will cover the creation of Israel at that period, and collection 2 obviously important years in the middle of the 20th century, and then looking at the end of the 20th century. So what's really important about these scripts are you'll see the original scripts, but then with adjustments made by the editors to change it for the presenters to read out. So it really is giving a kind of colonial attitude. So you can see here about Edmund Hillary conquering Mount Everest in 1953. And originally the script was supposed to say, the presenter was supposed to read that the Edmund Hillary, or E.P. Hillary, and Sherpa Tenzing conquered Everest on yesterday, or on 29th. However, it was changed by the editor to say, actually, the E.P. Hillary and a Sherpa. So completely sort of removing Tenzing's name from it, and also saying basically it was a British expedition. So this is a real colonial attitude, and it's really interesting for historians to sort of see this stuff. So yes, that's coming out next month. Next slide, please, Nina. DNSA, the ever popular DNSA. DNSA stands for Digital National Security Archive, and DNSA covers American US foreign policy from 1945 onwards. So the two new ones this year, US-Russia relations from the fall of the Soviet Union to the rise of Putin, 1991 to 2000. So these covers a year between Gorbachev and Putin, with Yeltsin in between. Really interesting and relevant stuff considering what's happening in Ukraine currently. Next one, please, Nina. And this one is coming out end next month, or possibly beginning of December. Really, again, interesting stuff. So the CIA and behavioral sciences. So this is mind control drug experiments, MK Ultra. So this is where the CIA were investigating ways between the 1950s and 60s, and before that, and slightly after that as well, how to control people using drugs and other methods. LSD was a favorite drug that they used. For example, they actually originally got volunteers from within the CIA to test LSD, and then they actually started testing people without their knowledge. So they would put LSD in people's coffee and just see how, in CIA operatives' coffee, and see how they reacted. So really interesting stuff that's coming out, and pretty controversial as well. Next one, please. Thank you very much. So the Global Issues Library, these are the ones that are all out now. These are really, really good stuff here. So we've got the Human Rights Studies online on the left there. That includes genocide, or covers genocide in the 20th century, from the Armenian genocide through the Holocaust and up to the Rwandan genocide. Border Migration Studies online, that has a lot of material on Palestine and Israel. So that's really interesting. Revolution and Protest, again, that has material in Israel. So Revolution and Protest covers the last sort of 200 years of revolution and protest globally. And then Environmental Issues online is comparative environmental issues in the last 100 years. Security issues, really important stuff on the history of terrorism. Engineering case studies online is a slight odd one, because that's obviously a STEM subject, but it teaches engineering students how to not produce failures, because it looks at failures such as where airplanes have dropped out of the sky, or bridges have collapsed, or shopping centres have fallen to pieces, and or oil rigs have caught fire. So it's really, really interesting stuff. Mass incarceration and prison studies, that looks at global comparative prison studies. And then contemporary global issues in video brings all those other ones up to date, looking at videos, this video only, the contemporary issues in video in the last 10 years or so. And one on the rise of the trade and globalization studies on looking at the history of trade and globalization studies. Next slide, please, Nina. It's getting there. So the next one is another global issues title that came out in September. World events and the media. This is so timely. So it looks at the history of journalism. It looks at how journalists craft their stories, looks at investigative journalism, and looking at how journalists fight corruption, looks at terrorist attacks and environmental disasters, conflict and war reporting. So this is so important at the moment. And social movements, also citizen reporting as well. It also looks at the transition from print to digital platforms. This is all these the global issues collections are video and text. Next one, please, Nina. Another important one, so Aging in the Modern World, which is coming next month. I think it's 21st of November. This looks at how governments approach aging, looks at how they implement laws, looks at ageism and the way society treats the elderly. But it also looks, as well as looking at housing and retirement and evolving perception of aging, it looks at their own life stories. So there are videos on the elderly talking about their life stories, looking at war, migration, and attitudes have changed about aging. Next slide, please, Nina. Then teletherapy and skills in video. This is proving incredibly popular in the UK and overseas and here in Israel too. So this is 130 videos. It's designed for people who work in counselling, psychology, social work, nursing, psychiatry. Increasingly, people doing initial counsels via or therapy sessions via video link, either Teams or Zoom. So this is really important that people learn the skills how to do these. It's actually aligned with ICD-10 from the World Health and DSM-5TR from the American Psychiatric Association as well. Next slide, please, Nina. So Hebrew transcripts have now been added to the video platform, which I know Ronit was asking about. So this is really important. So it'll be on the Alexander Street video platform, and it will be added in the future onto the Alexander Street main platform. We haven't got a date for that as yet, but we'll obviously do that as quickly as we can. And next slide, Nina. So there are some other key collections. I've really run through these really quickly, but there are links to all these collections, so you'll see more information. Next slide, please, Nina. So just big call here to our historical newspapers. The Jerusalem Post is obviously the most important one for Israel, but we also have the New York Times, LA Times, and Washington Post, which there's a lot of interest in Israel too. And then Guardian Observer is the main UK one. And then the Times of India, LA, Le Monde, South China Morning Post as well. Next one, Nina.
You don't need to hurry. We have time. We have time.
Okay. Sorry.
No need to hurry.
I'm almost there anyway, but I don't want to take up people's time if they're very busy people. Next one, please, Nina. So yeah, Jewish American newspapers. I just wanted to mention that we got the 4 of them there: the American Hebrew, Jewish Messenger, American Israelite, Jews Advocate, and Jewish Exponent. Very important for views on what's happening, obviously in America from a Jewish point of view, but also globally, for looking at the Holocaust, but also looking at events, creation of Israel. So really important voices, and interesting to see what they were saying. Next slide, please. So British periodicals and PAO. People often ask me what's my favorite collections, and I love them all, but PAO is just such a brilliant thing, and British periodicals, they are such brilliant collections. So British periodicals, there are 4 collections, there won't be any more. They cover the 19th and 20th centuries, and there's some brilliant stuff in there. So like British periodicals, 4 includes the Tribune, as you can see. 3 includes the Graphic, the Bystander. I mean, really it's fascinating stuff. You can read about how health and safety didn't catch up with sort of scientific and medical improvements. Things such as how they were advertising asbestos, what a brilliant product it was in the 1990s, and in the 1890s. And in 1915, they're talking about hair dye, how radium hair dye would improve your hair and make it lustrous. So these periodicals are all cover to cover, including all the adverts. I just love them. I really do. Periodicals archive online, or go back one slide, sorry.
Yeah.
Periodicals archive online, 10 collections, covers 1800 to 2005, really cross-disciplinary, really good stuff. And collection 8 has the Spectator, the New Statesman, and collection 7, the Spectator. So customers often get those first because of those collections. And American Periodicals covers American history and literature from 1741 to 1941, 1,500 periodicals in that. Next slide, please, Nina. And then key fashion magazines. So I've listed all our fashion magazines here. So we've got Harper's Bazaar, US and UK. These are the archives, I hasten to add. Daily News Record Archive is new and is menswear. Footwear News is also a news archive that came out this spring, and it obviously covers the footwear news. These are the big ones, the trade. Vogue Archive US, I think a lot of you already have. That's the archive. And then the Women's Magazine Archives 1 to 3, probably some of the most used collections globally. The first two collections cover men and women's, the first two collections cover US women's magazines, and the third one covers British women's magazines. And they're really important for history and literature and gender studies. And then Women's Wear Daily is seen as the Bible of the fashion industry, as has been described as such by fashion buyers. So Women's Wear Daily is the sort of go-to magazine for fashion buyers. Next slide, please, is the last one. So Children's Magazine Archive, this came out a few months ago, really important stuff on children's magazine. There isn't anything else like it out there. Education Magazine Archive, we get a lot after this a lot in the UK, has the Times Educational Supplement and the Times Higher Education Supplement Archives to 2015. So really important stuff there. And then Entertainment Industry Magazine Archives 1 to 5. So 1 is theatre and music, 2 and 3 are film and TV, massive, they get massive usage. And then 4 is music and 5 is video games. And then LGBT Magazine Archives 1 and 2. 1 especially gets a lot of usage, includes the Gay Times and the Advocate. And then the final one, News, Policy and Politics Magazine Archive, that includes Newsweek and is sort of highly sought after from the history and politics point of view. I think that's the last slide. Do you want to just check the next one? Yeah, yes. Question and answer. Okay. So apologies for the slight technical hitch earlier, and thanks to Nina for your help there. We will share these slides, so and they have got links to the more information on them. So do let us know if you've got any questions.
I have a question, Hugh. You show so many interesting collections. How do we get them all in one?
I'm glad you asked that question, Nina. So you can actually have something we call a primary source plan, where you get access to either 50 or 25 collections for a year or 2 years or 3 years, and you get to you pay a sum of money. You then get access to 25 or 50 collections. At the end of the year, you choose collections to the value of your plan that you get to own. And then you also get to add, if you renew, you get to add more collections in for the following year. Really, really popular in the UK, and we do have 2 Jewish customers, Israeli customers who have it, Ben Gurion and Tel Aviv, who I hope are finding it very useful. Thanks for that question. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Thank you. Any questions? Avi, you want to sum up?
Yes, תודה רבה לכולכם. מי שיש לו אי הבנות לגבי ה-ProQuest פרודקטס, מוזמן לצלצל אלינו, אנחנו גם נשלח משהו בהרחבה יחד עם ההקלטה של הסשן הזה, אנחנו נשלח את הסברים על הדברים בעברית, אני מקווה נכין את זה ויהיה בסדר. עוד פעם תודה רבה, ושיהיה לנו ימים קלים וטובים בקרוב.
תודה, ואני רק רוצה להוסיף שמי שרוצה להיות בטה טסטר, או בטה, או להתחיל להשתמש, או לעשות טרייל, שיפנה לזיהור, ואנחנו נשמח לארגן טריילס לכל אחד מהאוספים שהוצגו היום. ותודה.
Can I just add one thing? Nina,
Yes.
sorry, I just to say we have got some very good discounts if people want to purchase collections before the end of December. So do let Nina and me and also you know if there's anything you're interested in.
Let's first have a budget in Israel.
Same in the UK.
Yeah, I was just hearing about the terrible cuts in the UK, yes. Although, but seriously, it's always good to take advantage of the end of the year when the company wants to sell, and then it gives the best discounts. So anybody who's interested. And thank you so much to Hugh, Francesca, and Greg, and to our colleagues, Roberta, for joining us and supporting us all throughout the year, answering all our questions, and of course to Ziur for the cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.